Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports. Here myself Charlie. And before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. It has been confirmed this week that Jesse Lingard, former Manchester United, West Ham and Nottingham Forest midfielder, is going to sign for Brazilian giants Corinthians for the new season coming up. He is a free agent after being released by FC Seoul of South Korea last season. And now he's going to become the first ever English player to play in the Brazilian top division, which feels like a crazy stat, but obviously is true. I think we forget sometimes that, for example, Jamal Lewis had a spell there, but he is Northern Irish, technically. However, it is important as well, as a little side note, to point out that Corinthians actually take their name from English side Corinthian FC, who back in the Victorian era to the Edwardian era were considered the bastions of English sport and certainly of English football, and were real sort of inspirations as they went on global tours. And Corinthians actually take their name from that. And a brilliant sport documentary that I've watched, Corinthian Casuals, who now are the club that replaced Corinthian FC, who were effectively destroyed by World War I, where many of their players went and never came back. And they ended up playing Corinthians in a friendly to open up their new stadium, which shows the link is still alive. So I think in a way it's a lovely, a real full circle moment. One documentary that I'd really recommend on that is Brothers in Football. Absolutely fantastic. One of my favourite sporting documentaries. I'd really recommend that one on that subject. So, what can Lingard expect from the club? Well, first things first, Lingard can expect to link up with his former Manchester United teammate Memphis, or Memphis Depay as he was known, who apparently Lingard rang before the move actually took place and convinced him to come Sao Paulo's side. Now, it should be pointed out, Memphis's move has not been without its controversies itself in Brazil. His contract last year was infamously leaked to the media, which included the confirmation that he had had requested a house in a gated community, which to some felt like he'd felt angered by and was annoyed at the fact that such personal details had been leaked to the fans and to the media. But apparently he rang Lingard, convincing him to come to the club, and Lingard had booked a flight before the deal had initially been done. Now, Memphis last year and Corinthians won the Brazilian Cup, despite the fact that the club is in a little bit of turmoil, and despite being one of Brazil's best supported sides, certainly in the aspect of behind Flamengo, probably the second most supported side, Corinthians fans are known for both their loyalty and their passion. Their passion was never more on display than last year when they seized the club's offices and closed the club's training facilities down due to mismanagement. Now, it could be argued the mismanagement is due to rising debts that Corinthians find themselves in. Despite their on-field success last year in terms of winning the cup, they are in debt of over $20 million and continuing to rise up, which is a worry for fans of the club. Lingard's signing in Brazil has been met with some element of criticism. Some former players, such as Luis Sal, remember him of Benfica, who actually played against Lingard, has spoken to the Brazilian media and said, I don't really get why they've made the signing. There's Brazilian guys who are better than him. There's young kids who are better than him. So the signing's not exactly been met with lots of praise in Brazil, but notoriously the Brazilian media are hard to win over anyway, and Lingard's going to find that out, I think, the hard way when he joins Corinthians. Corinthians fans, like I say, are some of the most loyal in Brazil. They are known for sticking with the team, despite the fact that they do sometimes go on barren spells, or did go on barren spells in terms of titles. But they are known, like I say, for sticking with the team in these situations. The siren will infamously sound that sounds when they've signed a new player, and Lingard will wear the number 77. The reason 77 is so important to Corinthians fans is because 1977 was the year they ended a 29-year trophy drought, winning the Sao Paulo State Championship. So it's really important to the fans of the club. And this is the sort of thing that Lingard is taking on. What their ambitions are, well, it's quite hard to know. The Brazilian league is unpredictable as ever. It always is. We've just seen Flamengo sack Felipe Luis, allegedly due to the fact that he was talking to Chelsea behind the president's back. So Lingard knows that he's going to be under pressure quite early doors. As well, it should be pointed out that Corinthians fans are known as some of the craziest in Brazil. They've crowdfunded before $6 million or to help with the stadium that they play in. You know, Lingard, I think, if he thought Man United was passion and West Ham and Forest everywhere else, this is going to be passion, but on another level. Like I say, they are literally known as the crazy in Brazil. And listen, I'm admiring for taking the move. I want to see more English players do this, go abroad. Why not? Football's not a long career. Why not explore the world? I don't criticise him for that, but I hope he hasn't underestimated the scale of what he's taking on. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try to become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Have a great day.